Okay, so I'm off work, bored, looking for stuff to do and entertain myself since I'm ADHD. Um, and this isn't a video meant to like hate on people or anything, but I don't know. It's I was like, you know what? I'm going to log into TikTok for the first time in a long time. Because I got rid of it on my phone. I just, too many notifications, and then the whole it's spying on you. And I just was like, I don't know. I'm trying to get off social media to some extent, but then here I am on YouTube making a video. So I think I'm more like trying to disconnect from Facebook, all the political shit, and even on YouTube, it's music and funny shit, and try and avoid all the news stuff. But I'm on TikTok, and one of the first things that pops up is this page, and and I'm like, all right, whatever, I'll look at it, because like the I don't know anything about this person, but like this was the video that popped up.
God just came down from the sky and told me to go get arrested at this Applebee's, so I'll see you in like an hour.
I was like, oh, that's okay, weird, like let's just see what other funny videos they might have. And there's a lot of
Donald Trump would like to remind you that burning down Applebee's is in fact wrong. He didn't say anything about whether or not it's a crime, but we could assume that it is. Donald Trump, I'm here at this Denny's trying to find RFK. He's supposed to have a steel cage match with me, and he's running away, and I think he's here. I'm here. God just came down from the sky and told me if I don't go back to Applebee's and get arrested today, he's going to get me crucified. And I was like, you already did that.
So I don't know if they're being funny or serious. I don't 100% know if this person's trans or if it's a woman or whatever. I could care less, honestly. I hope this is funny stuff, because if not, then I hope you're on an antidepressant. But then, I was just, anytime you see the link tree or one of these little links on somebody's profile, you wonder, what am I going to see? What kind of links am I going to see? And I was just like, fuck it, let's see. I'm like, okay, they got their Instagram, the YouTube, TikTok. Okay. Oh, they've got an OnlyFans. And I mean, that's fine. I'm not saying that people can't have OnlyFans. But some things maybe shouldn't be.
La boo-boo this, la boo-boo that. I'm getting la bagged out. Shout out K-pop. Hanging on your girl's bag while I'm in mine. Call me.
See, I don't care to see this shit. Like, but TikTok's like, hey, like, I mean, this guy's funny. Not really, not to me.
Thank you.
I don't know. Let's just. I'm just curious.
Okay, go ahead.
What kind of shit we can find on here. Let's look at relationship stuff. See what kind of stuff we can find. I don't know. Let's see what this is. I don't know why the hell it takes forever to load.
How can I not speak her language, sir?
Nakitira ko sa Naga para sa 2 taon.
2 taon sa Naga.
Oo nga.
I don't know. Drama.
Casey.
Oh, this is some TV drama.
My mom isn't a nurse. She's a drug addict.
Start by making a small hole in the lips. This makes it easier to insert the first. Start by making a small hole in the lips. This makes it easier to insert the first smaller ring. Once the wound has healed, the ring is removed and a larger one is inserted. This is repeated several times until the desired size is reached. In their beautiful culture, This is a sign of beauty and maturity. Generally, those with the largest rings start by making.
What the fuck? I don't know. I don't think I want to stay on TikTok now. After that, let's go to YouTube. See what YouTube's got to offer. Make sure it's not sharing YouTube now. Let me remove that. Oh shit, where are we at here? Where I'm at? Share screen. Yeah, no, share screen. I'm gonna go to YouTube. Okay, share. Let's see what other crazy shit we can find. Yeah, I heard about this morning. I was kind of like, how the hell does that happen? You can see how my YouTube is. It's a little bit of everything. What is this? Okay, I don't give a shit, dude. Get to the video. Okay. No shit, we're all tired. The hell's that guy drinking? He was working in a small town or something. Or live in a small town. You know, I feel for that guy because I'm 39, and while I don't know what this guy does for a living, you know, I imagine it's probably harder than the job I'm currently doing. But I've also been working. Like last week, it was 8 days in a row. Then this week it was 7 days in a row, and I've had, I guess, pretty much the last 2.5 months or so. It's just been a 1 day off, maybe 2 days off, then 1 day off, and you know, it's the money's been good, and I'm grateful, but it still never feels like it's enough. It still doesn't feel like I'm catching up. I'm just staying afloat a little longer. And each day that I get off work and I get that paycheck, you know, after the 2 weeks, it's like, do I just want to let my credit go to shit and just say, fuck it, I got money. Not even to be like, I'm going to go take a trip. I'm going to go party and, do a bunch of drugs or anything like that. It's just simply, feeling like you need to sit on it just to either get ahead or feel like if something bad happens later on that you're okay for a minute longer. Like, and I get that, I'm like, I'll be 40 next year in just a couple months really. And I'm nowhere near where I should be. I mean, it's like other than the money I got in the bank right now, that's it. Like, I don't have any, like, I couldn't last that long. I mean, hell, I went to the grocery store today just to get some snacks for work tomorrow. And, I ended up spending like $25 on like just a couple little like lunchable things and, some drinks and watermelon chunks. And I'm like, what the fuck? Maybe I should just start starving myself. That's just how it feels. It's just, no matter what you do. I mean, even when I was a truck driver and making, about $1,000 a week here and there, I mean, it started going downhill. I wasn't even making, $700 or $800 consistently. And I'm sure there's still drivers making at least that, if not maybe a little bit more, but it seemed like the average, if, you took 4 weeks out of the month, you might get 700 one week, 900 the next, 600 the next, and then you get like a, $1,300-$1,400 a week. And really, by the time you average it all out, you're kind of at like, $950, $1,100 or something, and it just for living in a truck for, 5 to 10 days or whatever, depending if you're regional or OTR or even local. Local is the only time that I could say if you were making 800, a week, it wasn't great. But if you were only working maybe, 10 hours a day and you were home every night and you had your full 10 to 12 hours off or something like that, then it's more tolerable. It's not the money you want, but you can accept it because you're getting something else out of it. And then, there's guys that say, oh, you just go LTL, go, UPS and Union. Easier said than done. So I feel for that guy. I've even now, like, I get free flights. And I've just wanted to travel, but just mentally, I'm like, I get my off days and, it's like, I've got 24 hours off or, maybe 36 or whatever, however long it takes from the time I get off work and the next day when I'm completely off. And then I have to be back at like, 3 or 4 in the morning. I could obviously fly somewhere in that time. And even if I just walk around and take pictures or, go to a bar or restaurant, things like that. Just mentally, it's like, I just get off work and I'm like, all I want to do is sleep. And it's not even like I'm tired sleep and exhausted. It's like, if I don't wake up, I might actually feel better. It's that kind of sleep. And I'm not saying that as like somebody that's depressed, because I don't necessarily feel depressed. I've got a lot I could be depressed about, but I don't have a specific thing. Like, I don't have somebody coming after me, trying to kill me. I don't have, I've got debt collectors for medical bills and things like that, but nothing more than the average person really. And I don't have anybody trying to garnish my wages currently. And I don't have any threat of going to jail or something right now. And, I've got my bills paid. I've got a lot of things to be grateful for, but I don't feel like I'm living, and, and just the money that I'm spending when I spend it, it's not like I want fancy stuff. I'm not like, if I don't have a sports car or, another motorcycle or, if anything, it'd be nice to say, hey, I'm going to buy some gold or something just to hold and, and save or something. It's, stuff like that. Like I want to be able to say I've got a grocery, like groceries that I feel like will last me more than, a couple days. Cause I'm weird with my money to where like, if I can try and make, if I can live on like $75 worth of food for the whole week, I'm going to try and do it. Even if I'm not eating well, and it's not that I want more money. I guess I'm just more afraid of what the next week will be like. You know, I don't feel secure um, with my job. I don't feel like they're going to let me go immediately or anytime soon, but I also don't feel like um, I could see 6 months or a year down the line and go, okay, everything's going to be okay. You know, I guess that's kind of what it is, you know, just more fear of the future. Um, let's go back. Yeah. Oh God, I gotta sign the junior man. Let's. I gotta pause this because I, you know, it's like I mean, it pisses me the fuck off, honestly. I was looking at I was looking at my phone, and you know, like I saw the emails, and when I was at work, um, you know, this today, I was like, please don't make me work that week, you know, because I'm supposed to be moving out of town for the company. Like I'm in another city right now, and this is the weekend we move. You know, I haven't had my 3 days off for a while now. It's been at least, I don't know, 5-6 weeks, but I've had just one day, maybe 2 days a week off, but not consistently, not like 2 consecutive days. And I'm mentally fucking fried. Like, I'd made a couple mistakes here at work, and it's a job where I have to be, focusing a lot to attention to detail. And if my head does not want to be there, you can't make me be there. Like you can physically say I have to come into work, but it, I can't, pregame myself into be like, all right, let's do this, um, I'm just going to go to this. Like, I mean, it's, I don't know. Like it just pisses me off. Like, I mean, I'm making double time money for the junior man, but I should be somewhat grateful because after this there's really not going to be a lot of overtime at all. There's none on the books for till after January or something, if that. And it's a question of how much and whatever they post. But the thing is like I didn't pick that day. I specifically, like, I knew those dates that were next week and the week after, and I'm like, I don't want them. Don't take them. As much as you want the money, don't do it, because you need your 3 days off. You need to get out of here and just be like, cool. Because I mean, in the move, I don't know where I'm going. I have not even looked for apartments. I don't even know if I want an apartment, because I don't know if I can afford an apartment, or if I would want to spend the money on an apartment. Oh, we'll just get a roommate, just room with somebody. Yeah. The city that we're moving to with the company, it's about as bad as like Nashville or, somewhere where it's like, oh yeah, you don't want to spend your, $1,500-$1,600 for an apartment. That's cool. You can just spend $1,100 for a room. Like, at that point, I might as well spend the $1,600 for an apartment, for like a studio apartment. Whew. And I mean, it's a job, and I want to do my time and get out and live. That's what it is. Like, and it's not a toxic place. I mean, there's nice people there. The work is not really that hard. I'm grateful to be there again, and working there right now. But like, I'm wiped out mentally. Like, I need to have fun and do things. It's the month of October. I want to go to haunted houses. I want to go travel. And, instead here I'm just so mentally taxed that I'm deactivating all my socials and contemplating suicide because I'm just not living, I mean, that's just what it is. Like, and it sucks. It sucks. Like, here I'm on YouTube. I mean, I don't expect anybody to really watch my videos, but I'm just like a lot of other people where, our social interactions have dwindled. Our connections have pretty much died off, whether it's your significant others or your friends, and I don't know. It's life ain't lifing anymore. Has the Matrix just broken, or has the problems of the world just got to the point of like, we can't take this anymore? And it's showing, I've instead the news and things I felt like I could disconnect from, or just not even really, have on the radar before. But now it's like I'm actively trying to avoid the news. And it goes as far as like, I've got to deactivate my socials so I don't see the crap that's going on that people are wanting to talk about. And it's, I don't know, like, I'm just tired. Just tired. Just like that other guy. I don't even have the energy to finish the video because now my head is just like, great. I'm going to be at work on a Friday when I'm supposed to be off. Like, I specifically picked days so I'd have Friday, Saturday, Sunday off, the weekend. So if I want to work a band gig, if I want to go record somebody, if I want to go see a concert, if I want to travel, it's the perfect time, But instead, I'm going to be back at work. Yes, I'm making good money on that day. I'll make probably like $300 or something in a day. But I mean, this last check that I got, the government took like $700 from me. $700. Had I made that full amount, I would be like, fuck yeah, let's work. But even with, I guess my average for each week was let's see, it's about $11.50 or so, which, I mean, it's not bad for working at a desk, but I did 130 something hours on that check in 2 weeks. So I basically worked like 7 days a week. And that's coming from the world of trucking. Like, I went back to this job because I specifically wanted more days off. Like, I wanted an easier work-life balance. And I get that I'm probably going to get it back after October, but it just fucking sucks. If I don't want to be there, don't make me be there. No job should make you be there. I don't care what it is, especially like these ATC controllers right now, TSA, I don't blame them for saying I'm sick. I'm depressed. I'm not getting paid. Yeah, you're getting paid, but you're going to have to wait. And then, whenever it comes, and there's loan programs so you can make sure you're okay. And, it's not their fault that the government shut down. So why are they being forced to come in? And you could say, oh, it's the Democrats, it's the Republicans. It's, the fact is that neither party can communicate anymore. And it just becomes this, like, we want extreme crazy shit that nobody else cares about, or, we want our agenda and you're going to have to deal with it because we're the majority, and I get that, like, Democrats are saying, well, we want Medicare and, we need to lower healthcare premiums. Okay, all right, cool. But is that the whole story? That's what we're being told. But then there's other people, well, it's because they're trying to fund for illegal immigrants and they want, healthcare for the XYZ. And so is that why? Is that why? I don't know. I don't fucking know. And, at the same time, I don't really care. I'm here. I don't even know why I'm even talking about it anymore. But the thing is that there's thousands of people not getting paid right now. My brother-in-law is one that's not getting paid. He's in the military. He's a chaplain. He goes, oh, well, you're called to God. Most preachers don't get paid, do it because you believe or whatever. I don't know. But, he's in the military chaplain. He's working with vets with PTSD, people dying, he could get deployed. They got kids, they're not in a state where it's affordable. And they're supposed to just say, well, I think we got the September check, so we just got to wait another 2 weeks for the October one, and hopefully it'll, work out. Okay, well, if it doesn't, we're just failing as a country, it seems, and as a society of people. Everything is based around profit now, And I'm just to the point of like, should I sell everything I have? There's things that I have that I'm keeping more out of sentimental value. I've got more guitars than I need, but certain ones, it's like I wrote certain songs on, and they just have certain memories attached to them. I could care less about the financial value. I could sell them and say, okay, I got like 500, 800,000 or something, and the money would be nice. But the money would just probably sit in my bank account, or I'd buy crypto or gold, or pay down a debt. It wouldn't take me from A to B and be like, I sold my motorcycle to put a down payment on a house. It's not like that kind of shit. It would just be a little bit more money to feel as a cushion. But in my head, I'm holding on to a lot of the stuff because I'm like, well, maybe one day I'll have a little home studio, and I'll look back at some of these instruments that I bought in my 20s, and some of the stuff I got from the recording studio that I worked at, and I'll see stuff that I have that brings back memories or something, and I can pursue a passion that I have more. And there's part of me that's like, maybe I should just work this job for a year, just say fuck it all and not pay any of my debts and just let my credit go to shit, and then just hide all the money. And after a year, if I've got like 25, 30 grand or something, just make an album or something, go record and play artists, and live broke. I don't know. But then I'm like, well, what about my credit? Like, what if I want to buy a house? What if I need to get an apartment? And I've kind of given up on those dreams. I don't know. And after losing friends and family and stuff due to age and drugs and suicides and things, like, there's stuff that I want to do and share with people that I never got to. Like, there's a lot of stuff I'm capable of doing. I'm a weird guy. I'm a smart guy, but I'm also not, I don't know how to put it. Trucking never fit. This new job, I don't know if it'll ever truly fit, or I'll fit, there's, people that they can work a job, and whatever it is, right? It's a job, and they leave and they don't take it with them. They can figure out how to have another life outside of their job, and other people, their job is their life. But I'm one of those, like, I after working at that recording studio, nothing has ever felt right. I've never felt at place anywhere. I've always felt like I'm screwing up more in a way. Kind of like I'm just not in my true calling, you know. And I'm not like some great musician either. I mean, I've been singing since my teens. I've been playing guitar, you know, probably since my early 20s or so. And I'm not a lead guitar player. I'm, you know, not some fucking amazing singer. I'm, you know, if anything, I'm punk rock at best. You know, I'm just somebody that just wants to play and just have fun, you know, not give a shit about life. But I want to get by and just have fun, just enjoy life. Because I've got too many other things on my mind that stress me out. And now we're at the point in society where it's just like, that's not even an option. You know, I don't even know if I could be like a music teacher for kids. Like, I mean, it's just, you know, even for music teachers, like, it's just not valued. Like you're making like $10 an hour kind of thing. You know, if you're charging $50-$60 as a voice teacher or guitar teacher, you're lucky if you're consistently getting that. Nobody really cares about buying music anymore, myself included. I mean, I want to buy music. I want to support the artist, but iTunes is convenient. It's easy. So you know, for stability's sake, I'm at a job, not a job that I hate, but a job that pays the bills, and, you know, I report to duty. I don't know. It's just tiring. I mean, I get off work and I just back, you know. Sometimes I feel like I could just get off work and fall asleep in my car. 10 hours, 12 hours, whatever. Be right back at work. I don't care if I wear the same clothes. And they say, where were you? Out? Passed out in my car. You know, doesn't make a difference. That's just how it feels, you know. I mean, it's just, the pay ain't bad, but I'm not getting rich. And it's not like I can say, okay, like, I mean, the last time I paid for an apartment was 2019, I think. Yeah. No, I take that back. 2022. Yeah. Briefly. It was the same apartment I lived in for 8 years above the recording studio. But when I lived above the recording studio for almost 8 years, all I paid was $850, you know. And I was getting, I don't know, like anywhere from 400 to maybe 1,000 a week. And I was doing good. Like, that was me being like, if I had a $700 week where I worked at the studio, got my 400 or so, and then I worked an event and got another $350, $400, you know, two of those, and two weeks of that, making $700 or so, I'm like, I paid my rent. Like, I'm great. You know, next week it's like I'm going to a strip club. I'm getting beer, you know, I'm making steak, and I'm sitting at home and rocking out, you know. And I felt good. I mean, it was like, I should have been saved. I could have done a million different things differently. I could have been buying gold. I could have been, you know, just investing in stocks. I mean, but you know, I wasn't taught that. And I was just trying to have fun. I was just trying to enjoy life. I've always had depression. I've always had anxiety. And in those years, I had a lot worse. I feel like it's gotten better to some extent, or maybe I've just learned to tune it out differently or something. I don't know. But in my studio days, I for all the fun I had, I feel like I missed out a lot because of my depression and anxiety. Within the first year there, I lost my best friend suddenly to like a heart attack or something, or brain aneurysm. I don't know if they ever really figured it out, or stroke, but you know, that I feel like that changed me. Like in a way, I lost myself more at work, but I know before he passed, I was sitting in the tracking room a lot more. You know, I was actively like working with the bands and artists behind the console and the owner. And then when he passed, like I just sort of wandered up to the front a little bit more, and it got to where it was like, I'm just going to hide up here until somebody calls me. And I'm grateful that I still was able to do that, but I don't know. I wasn't present some days because I wasn't present until I needed to be, you know? And that's how it even feels now at this job. It's like, if I can put my earbuds on and just do my work and have no one talk to me, I would, you know, I'd be like, hey, just let me do my thing. Don't talk to me until you need me, you know? And it's not that I don't want to be mean or something. It's just, I feel like I'm being thrown into a social environment, and I don't always want to be social. That's why trucking was nice for a while. I think the problem with trucking, though, was, 2 to 3 weeks without seeing anybody did weigh on me. Like, it's one thing to say, oh, you see people at truck stops. Yeah. You have those like 30-second conversations with a driver or with, a cute, lady at the register. And you want them to last more. Like, you want to have a bit of a deeper conversation and stuff, but they weren't there. And, I'd come home and I'd see relationships of people that I'm friends with or had, some kind of romantic attachment to, and stuff with my parents and other family members. And, you just see everything falling apart. And it's kind of like in your instinct of like, I just got to get back on the road because I can't deal with this. I can't handle it. I don't know what to tell these people. Here, take my money, if you need money here, just take this. If this fixes your problem, like, that's what it felt like sometimes. Or it was just like, oh, great. There's another failed relationship. Somebody can't see what I'm trying to do, that I'm just trying to make a living and, get to a point where I can say that I could provide for somebody, give them a house, an apartment, or, whatever. Somebody just love me and like me for who I am. I don't know. So it was easy to get back on the road on those days. And even now it's the same thing where it's like, I could go home, but I don't know what I'd be going home for. I mean, I'd go home to see my parents. I can go home and see some friends in my hometown, but it's not like anybody's, oh my God, I miss you. My phone blows up more with notifications from, Facebook and just random, emails and shit. I don't get like text messages like, hey, I miss you. What you up to? Like, let's go on a date. Let's hang out. Let's get a beer. Hey, there's this concert in town. Let's go see it. And there's probably people at work now that I could be like, hey, you want to get a beer or something? And I don't know. But it's hard to make new friends. It's hard to connect to old friends. So it's easy just to work and keep working. And be like, when I start making money, when I'm finally in a better spot, then I'll be okay. I don't know. I've probably gone long enough. 40 minutes here on a stream. If you managed to watch the whole video, thank you. If you have any comments about it, go ahead and talk about it, like it. If you think I ran it too long, share it, let me know. Or if you want to hear more about just what's on my mind or life when I was on the road, let me know. Thanks.